Hey YouTubers, thanks for checking into the video today. Today's lure review is going to be on my first ever on a soft plastic style lure. I've chosen the Keitech Swing Impact Fat for a particular reason. You know, like I'm going to be doing more reviews on other types of soft plastics, and I'm going to be doing a series in the next few sort of coming weeks, but I decided to start off with this particular bait. It is, in my view, the best soft plastic swim bait on the market at the moment. I haven't tried every single one, guys, so if there is something that you feel is better, please comment below. But for the meantime, this is by far my personal favorite, and I feel that this particular lure really shines with its swimming action. Its ability, when you are retrieving it, it's going to swim really well, even at low speeds, even at quicker speeds. But you know, even when you don't retrieve it and you just let it fall and sink, it's going to actually swim downwards as well, which is really awesome. You know, that's what I sort of look for with lures. Alright, so first of all, let's talk a bit about soft plastics. They've been around for many years, and they've been used by you know, like the boys that fish in more like saltwater conditions. All right, so but it seems like in about the last, say, 10 years, they're becoming, you know, increasingly popular. There's a reason for that, guys. You know, it can't be because, you know, different forms of anglers just all of a sudden want to start using soft plastics. There's a reasoning behind that. It's simply because they're very versatile baits. They have a very lifelike feel, lifelike appearance, and also lifelike action to them as well. All right, so if I zoom this out a bit here, this particular bait itself is, like I said before, soft plastic, meaning that it's a rubber sort of material that's very pliable. Some soft plastics are going to be more stretchy, like your Z-Mans. That's one of the selling points for the Z-Mans. They claim that, you know, it's going to last a hell of a lot longer, so you could buy a Z-Man branded product and make sure it lasts for, well, a real long time. And even if fish hit onto these lures, more than likely they're not gonna like snap these lures or bite these lures in half. I will let you know, guys, that these lures here, these Keitechs, are by far, not even close, the most softest lures I've ever purchased in regards to a soft plastic lure. What that means, okay, is that it doesn't take many different types of species of fish, but if fish do bite that and you haven't set the hook, or they haven't bit around that hook section, and as you pull, even if you don't pull, I've had fish just biting like half of these baits off, and it happens actually quite a lot more than what I would actually like. All right, so you're gonna lose a lot of like lures when you do use the Keitechs, but you know, I still come back to them and turn to them all the time, because they simply, the swimming action is unrivaled. Like I said, I feel that they've actually got by far the best swimming action available on the market. In terms of the profile itself, the name Swing Impact Fat. All right, Keitech do have a regular edition of this lure. It's just called the Swing Impact. The fat in the name implies that the bait itself is a little bit more, well, fatter. So it's got a bigger profile that way, and this bait is fatter this way compared to your regular Swing Impact. All right, I prefer about this size. I find, like, you know, it's about the perfect size of a bait fish. Yeah, perfect profile and perfect yeah, size really. With the tail itself, this is called something called a paddle tail. What a paddle tail, it simply looks like this. All right, guys, so sort of that design. It's flat at the back with this section through here, okay, meaning that as you're retrieving it through the water, this tail has got no other option but to swing left and right, side to side like that, because water's coming in here and displacing it, and it's going to want to naturally swing left and right like that. Now, where it's really impressive is that this part here is incredibly thin. All right, Keitech have not done that accidentally. They've obviously done that on purpose to help out with, you know, if it was a thicker section here, right here, it's going to have maybe less wobble, but this really thin section is going to give it heaps of action, even at really low speeds, which is awesome. Something that's really like awesome about this bait as well is in moving on to about halfway through the body, it's still a fat design here at the front, but it starts to get really quite thin here. It tapers really down, and I think that really helps out with the action as well. Okay, so if I actually just turn it to the side, it's naturally just wants to fall like that on its side there. So it's quite bendable in the tail section there, which is, you know, really helps out with the swimming action like that there. It does have a bit of a roll to it as you're retrieving, so it does want to sort of roll a bit like that, which is pretty cool, because Keitech, you know, with a lot of these designs, most of their designs, they've got this really awesome flake that they put through the whole plastic of the in the, you know, in the construction of it, and you can really see those flakes. Now all the Keitech swing impacts, and including the fat in swing impacts, which I have here, pretty much, not all of them, but nearly all of them, just like I said with the flakes, nearly about 90% of them are going to be a two-tone design, so meaning like heavy, like darker on the top and then lighter on the bottom. So if I show you there, it's really light on the bottom and then it gets really dark on top, which is like obviously like a look that most fish have, and a lot of bait fish have as well. Okay, so that really helps out with the overall yeah, sort of appeal and aesthetic side to it as well. One thing that I did notice with these baits is obviously you can sort of see here they do not have any eyes. Okay, it is obviously just a molded rubber, and they did not, you know, stick on any eyes afterwards, which isn't a bad thing. Like, you know, you get a lot of fish hitting on these baits anyways, but I just thought maybe if they maybe made the head more pronounced, like for example if they just had like a really dark area from here onwards, or maybe even stuck on eyes afterwards, I thought that would have been pretty cool. But they haven't done that in their design. They're really basic sort of molded soft plastic that, well, you know, works really well, and I'm not knocking that, guys. I'm just saying, like, you know, if they were to have, say for example this section here at the front, you know, with that real, hey, head look, you know, with the gills, maybe a slightly different color, and maybe some 3D eyes, or some form of an eye, I thought that would be pretty cool. But not a knock on it at all, and it's not really a big deal because it does catch fish. Okay, anyway, so we talked about a bit about the anatomy of the bait. What you will get here is these sort of circular, alright, circular ribs around the bait, all the way around here. Alright, what they do is, it's obviously got to do with a form of water displacement. I think it creates some form of maybe very micro vibrations really through the water as these ribs run through the water, and causes a certain type of disturbance. So Keitech have went with that design there. Keitech pretty much invented this particular design, this body and this sort of like rib design, and a lot of companies have ripped them off, in the sense where they're pretty much like, you know, you look on a lot of your tackle websites now, and then also if you walk into like a tackle store, you're gonna see some brands that actually look like that. It's almost like they like sort of like basically blatantly stole the design of it, because simply, and you know what, it's like it's for a reason, because it's a copycat world, you know what I mean? If something works well and you need that same amount of success, you know, these bait companies are probably, well, they are trying to really ultimately have their versions of that. You know, they might change a couple of things up a little bit about them, but ultimately they have, well, ripped this bait off, which is, you know, fair enough in the commercial world, I suppose. So what you're going to be getting, there's I've got 3 different sizes here. Okay, this particular size here is the 4.8 inch, so for 4.8 from pretty much its tail here to about its head there. Alright, now I've got here the 3.8 inch, and then I've got this one here, which is the 2.8 inch. I went with 3 different sizes for 3 different applications. All of these lures, as you might be able to see in this section here of my table, it's actually quite an oily finish, and it's run out on the table a bit there. Alright guys, so what that is it's I suppose it's a part of the construction. A lot of soft plastics do have an oily sort of a feel to them, and if you do leave them in the sun, they will melt and you will see the liquid sort of fall out of them. So don't keep them in the sun, by the way. These are all scented baits, which are awesome, absolutely awesome. Like, they've put that into the manufacturing process of the baits, and they actually like sort of have this smell outside of the package. Now, how well fish are going to come up and want to smell it a bit more before they bite on the bait, You know, a lot of times you're going to watch on YouTube, you're going to see underwater footage. It's like fish sometimes investigate the bait, and if there is more chance of maybe attracting the fish, whether or not it attracts the fish with the smell, at least with the smell, it actually will mask the smell of rubber. Okay, because a lot of soft plastics, you're going to smell them straight out of the package, and if you do have a whiff of them, you can actually smell like a real sort of, well, a rubbery manufactured smell to them. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so excuse me, with all these types of baits, they do not come pre-rigged. Your 4.8 inch is going to feature 5 in a pack, so that's what the pack looks like. I'll just zoom out there for you guys. That's what the pack looks like there. All right, that's the 4.8 inch, and then that's the rainbow shad that I've got there. The next one, I've taken them all out of this, but this here is the 3.8 inch. Okay, gold flash minnow. That's what it comes in. And then the last one was going to be, sorry, you get 6 of them in a pack. All right, you get 6 of them with the 3.8 inch. Now with the 2.8 inch, you're going to be getting 8 of them in there. All right, so 2.8 inch, you're going to be getting 8 of them. That's the same color as well, the gold flash minnow. Yeah, they don't come pre-rigged, so you got a couple of different choices, and I've shown, I've brought here along a couple of different types of types of hooks, jigs, and hooks that you can sort of use. I've got here a real nice wide gap made by, this particular one's made by Laser Trocar, the brand that's supposedly surgically cut, which is fair enough, but yeah, it's got a pretty sharp point. Alright, supposedly it's got more chance of penetrating the fish. You know, yeah, I've used them a bit. They're pretty sharp hooks, eh, guys? So yeah, and then yeah, also with this one here, it's obviously weighted at the bottom, so if your weight is closer to here, you're going to have about a medium fall. If it's closer to the front, it's going to be more of a head-heavy fall, and if it's closer to the back, it's going to be having more of a, I suppose, a natural, even horizontal fall as it's sort of like diving there. Alright, and then next one's going to be your owner, yeah, wide gap hook here. It also has that screw at the front as well, which I really like. Excuse me, and this is just a regular like sort of jig head, real nice thick gauge. These are just the different ways that you can sort of like attach your soft plastics onto your jigs. Another tip is like once you like put your soft plastic all the way around, guys, and then the head of the soft plastic goes into like this section here, you know, once you like wrap it all the way around into here, guys, put a bit of a dab of super glue at the front here, just a little bit, and then as you put it in, it's gonna like stick more, so then it's not gonna want to fall back. Like, you know, they've got this mechanism here to try help like the bait not fall back as much, but super glue always does the trick. And then this one here is a you know, obviously like a head design, so it's going to give you like somewhat like of a, you know, more of a natural head design. You know, you might want to cut off this section about here if you're really wanting to use something like that, so then that would be flat, more flat against like this, giving it a more, I suppose, natural sort of look to it. I mean, you could even use it like that, it doesn't really matter, but I mean, if you wanted a more natural sort of look to it. I've rigged up some of these ones here. This here is a Laser Trocar as well. Yeah, this here I think is the 6/0 hook. Yeah, 6/0 size hook, pretty large hook. Alright, and then this one here is the VMC. It's not as a wide gap, okay, so the gap here, the Laser Trocars and the owners are like heaps like wider, which, like, you know, as your fish hits like that, you got more chance of you know, more gap for it to hook itself on, like that. But this one here's got less of a gap, but I mean, yeah, the fish will still like get stuck on that, even on that, guys. It doesn't really matter. One thing you will notice about like the Keitechs is that they've got these grooves inside here. So sorry if the video is taking a bit longer than usual, guys. I want to be as in-depth as possible. There's these grooves in here, that one groove there, and then also a little bit of a groove here. Alright, that's really for if, you know, for you when you're putting your hook onto your bait there, you've got like a reference point really, and also for an area for the hook to sort of hide in as well. And then also for the top section, you can see there, it's very like weedless because of these rib designs, and also that track, that little area there where that side of the hook can sort of rest there. All right, so it's incredibly weedless. See, I'm running my finger across there. If you are to run this across cover, you're gonna have no worries at all. One thing, guys, I've got here a what hook is this here? This here is the VMC. I've got what one it is. I've got the packet here somewhere. But yeah, I decided to go with this hook because I thought it was extra cool. It's got like this keel design, if I show you like that there. And I just thought it's really cool. But this hook really sucks, guys. So if you ever like think about buying this like hook, don't bother because it's crap. It really wants to turn with a mind of its own. So you're not really getting a straight keel every time. It's a VMC style hook. And then the other thing is that this hook has got a tendency, as you're running this over cover, to want to naturally just fall back and do whatever it wants. Like I've tried to lock this into position by pulling it as far back as possible, or pulling it far as front forward as possible so it dives head first. But no matter what position you put it in, it just over time, like after like 1 or 2 casts, if you bump it over cover, you're gonna get this like this area here wanting to just move wherever it wants, therefore like not creating the sort of retrieve or the action that you really sort of like wanted to get bought the hook for in the first place. So yeah, just wanted to let you know that one there. All right, but yeah, yeah, thanks for checking into the video today. Stick around for the underwater action, guys. If you got any questions, please let me know. But guys, to sum it up, by far the best swimming action out of any swim soft plastic lure that I've ever owned. If you know of any that's that swim really, really well, let me know. So I'm able to try it out. But yeah, awesome swimming action, awesome lifelike appearance in regards to its feel, its construction, and in terms of how soft the plastic is and how thin that area is here, giving it that great swimming action. Also, I like the centered side of it as well, giving it more appeal. And the price isn't too bad. One thing that does suck about this bait is the fact that they don't last very long. If a fish bites onto it, there's a good chance that they're going to rip that off completely. So you'll be like using them. You're going to have to buy more of them. But it's a thing that I'm very willing to do. All right, thanks guys. Click subscribe and hit the like button. See you around next time.